Hi, I want to talk about loops. First of all, why do we need loops in Python or in any other programming languages? Well, remember that time is a limited resource. Loops let you repeat actions without writing the same code again and again and again. So they are important for automation and iteration, and also they are efficient for programming. Often we want to run through all entries in a list, performing the same task with each item. For example, in a game you might want to move every element on the screen by the same amount. Or maybe in a list of students, you might want to calculate the maximum grade for each student. When you want to do the same action with every item in a list, you can use Python's for loop. Let's take this example. For example, I have children list, Muhammad, Abdurrahman, and Hanan. I want to loop over each child and print the name. This is the syntax. We start with the for keyword, then the child. This is a variable. You can name it whatever you want, child, anything, but usually you name it with the kind. What is the kind of the list? For example, if I have list of fruit, for example, we say for item in fruit. Then we print this variable, child. This is the output. The for loop will give me each child name. Looping is very important because it's one of the most common ways a computer automates repetitive tasks. So what happens once a for loop has finished executing? Usually we want to summarize a block of output or move on to other work that your program must accomplish. Let's print thank you for these children. After the for loop, I print thank you. Notice that the indentation. If we are inside the for loop, we need to have this indent. If I am outside the for loop, we don't use this indent. Indentation means space. Usually it is 4 spaces or a tab, 1 tab. If we avoid indentation, the compiler will complain. Let's compile this piece of code. So here the children list, and this is the for child in children. Here I didn't use the indentation. I just print child. If I compile this, this is the error we will have, indentation error, expected an indented block after for statement on line 2. Here, if I make the indentation, which is 4 spaces, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then compile again, it will work. This is the name for each child, and this is the output after we are out of the for loop. We can use range for numerical lists. For example, I want to print the numbers between 1 and 5. So we can use like that for value in range 1 and 5. Print value. Notice this is the value. This is the variable name. We can name it whatever. I can name it, for example, for num. For num, notice the squeezy line here because this is not the same name as here, so we need to change value to num. Now let's print it. Notice that even though there is a 5 here, but the range method will give you the output between 1 and 5, and it will not print the second number. It will print 1, 2, 3, and 4 without the 5. If it is a range between a 1 and 100, it will print, you guess, between 1 and 99. This is the last item. Let's make like more realistic example. For example, I want to make the squares number. Here I have the list. I name it squares. It's an empty list. Then I use for loop for value in range between 1 and 11. I want to square every value, then to add the square number into this list. Let's execute it. Now here the squares number 1, the square of 1 is 1, 2, the square of it is 4, 3, the square is 9, until 10, because 11, remember 11, it's not with us. It will stop at 10, so the 10 square is 100. There is another type of loop in Python, which is while. What is the difference between while and for loop? While, we use it if we don't know how much item do I have. I just have a condition. Let's see that example, this example. I have a variable, let's call it count, and it starts with 0. While count less than 5, this is the condition. So we have a condition here. We don't have range of items. I don't have a list. I just have a condition here. As long as this condition is true, I will loop through these steps. First of all, I will print count is, then to print the count. Then I will add 1 to the count variable. So if it is 0, now it will be 1. Then let's loop again, because this is the end of the loop. Let's check the condition. So now count is 1. Less than 5? Yes, it is. So it will go through the steps. Count is 2, and then we will add 1 to the count. It will be 3. Then until it reach 4. 4 is less than 5, so we will continue. Then let's continue with the 5. 5 is less than 5? No. So it will get out of the while loop. So here we have a condition. This is the difference between for and while. For, you can use it on items to iterate through, and while you can use it when we don't know how items to iterate. It is condition based. Remember that for should have a list to iterate over it, or a range of number, and while should have a condition. Let's take this example. I is 0. While true, I will add 1 to the I. Then if I equals 3, I will continue. Continue means I will continue into the next step. If I equals 6, I will break. Break, it means I will get out of the loop. So here, this is the output of this piece of code. 1, then 2, then 3. Here I is equals to 3. So what happened? It will continue. Continue jumping into the condition without continue to print the I. So now it is 4. I equals 6. No, let's continue. It is now 5. 5 not equals to 3, not equals to 6. Let's check. And 6 now, yes, it is equals to 6. So we will break and get out of the loop.